The Zillow Killer was an accident. And it
It
was,
was an accident.
yeah, because it was easier for people to remember Zillow Killer than my name.
James is such a difficult name.
Well, that's how I thought. My mind thought like that
That's
way.
good branding.
The whole point was to create an anchor. Anchors are what makes you memorable.
Yep.
A lot of times we view things as hard when it's just unfamiliar. So doing it for them, yes, that's a premium price that we could, charge, but it's easier when an agent understands how it works, because it helps with the implementation. So a lot of the transition from just the agency and leaning into the training and helping people understand the process is all about, one, helping them understand the practicality, which agents need to know, right? The ease of use. And then we can nurture the implementation. And like I said, the more they know, the better.
My guest today started as a licensed realtor in New Jersey, built a boutique advertising agency in Philadelphia that worked exclusively with real estate teams and brokerages across the country, and became one of the sharpest voices in the industry on AI. He's the founder of Digital Natives, Inc. and Agent Lab, a community where he teaches agents how to step into AI and scale their businesses. He's not only talking about AI in theory, he's living it in practice every day. James Rembert, welcome to the pod. I'm so excited to get to sit down and chat with you.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So let's talk about that pivot that you made from running the agency to going all in on Agent Lab and teaching agents how to use AI. What was the catalyst for that?
The transition came from helping agents understand the ease of use. The problem when it comes to, when we talk about emerging tech, especially when we talk about AI, a lot of times we view things as hard when it's just unfamiliar. So doing it for them, yes, that's a premium price that we could, charge, but it's easier when an agent understands how it works, because it helps with the implementation. So a lot of the transition from just the agency and leaning into the training and helping people understand the process is all about, one, helping them understand the practicality, which agents need to know, right?
Yeah.
The ease of use. And then we can nurture the implementation. And like I said, the more they know, the better, right? The better it is for the industry that they can actually use the tools. It improves the industry just on a higher scale because they understand the process. And it's hard for people to take advantage of them after that point.
Yes. Is there a profile of the sort of agent that you're seeing really excel with the use of AI? Is there a length of time in the business? Is there who are you seeing really gravitate and really make a difference with it?
That's an interesting question, because there isn't a profile. There's more those that have more of an entrepreneurial structure and a business structure that understands what it can do for them. And they realize it won't break their business, but it's an extension. A lot of agents that are just cash flow forward, we see more pullback because it's it's going to mess up how my money's coming in.
Right.
So the profile doesn't really have the age or time in. It's those who can see the value of, this can multiply me. This can scale my business.
Yes.
That's the agents that are willing to implement it.
Yeah. You know what I'm observing is that natural entrepreneurial spirit. So regardless of age, gender, any of those sort of demographic signals that if you have that entrepreneurial spirit, regardless of what it is, what technology it is, you and I have been doing this for a long time. There's been lots of new technologies. That entrepreneurial spirit is that quality that people grab onto it. When you have that entrepreneurial spirit, tell me what it is. I'm going to try it. I'm going to see if it helps my business, and I'm going to run with it. And I'm seeing that with AI as well.
Yeah. Again, like I said, it's so new, right? And like I said, really my goal is to really prevent agents from being taken advantage of. So when the agents that can sense that,
yes,
those are the agents that are willing to implement. So like I said, the profiles, it's not really any, but that if they have that entrepreneurial spirit, a lot of us that have that can kind of sense either I'm going to work with you knowing that you're not you're going to take advantage of me. And then you have others that's you know what, I trust you enough. Here's my life.
Yes. Yeah. And it is so new. And I know you talk about this a lot. And I was thinking about this morning, that AI kind of feels like when we were kids and we were at that age where, you know, we just started to like get crushes on like boys or girls, you know, like, you know, you really like someone and like, you know, you're so excited about them. And then like 2 days later, like you really like someone else. Like that sort of feels like AI right now, like the different tools. So like ChatGPT was all the rage, right? And we all were in love with ChatGPT. But then Gemini came along and we all fell in love with Gemini. And now like Claude, like we're all in love with Claude. So we're moving very quickly. So talk a little bit about that from your perspective. What are you seeing and how should we be falling in love?
Well, the romance side of the tech is there because it's new. What we realize and what I realize is how to help agents actually like utilize it is help them understand the tool over the software, right? If we can talk about what tool we need, you can choose what software it is, right? And when you're willing to differentiate the different types of AI, deciding what software you use, it kind of like removes the squirrel. Like, let me go to the next one, right?
Yes.
So when we talk about large language models, we know that large language models are the brain, but there are certain large language models like Claude. Why it's so popular is because they're not giving us features, they're giving us tools. That's a big, big difference. So if I can have a tool that I can apply to my business, all of them have pretty much the same features. When you start adding tools, it starts to segment what that large language model is. And it just shows just the complete difference of like from car types. Like you have just a Toyota versus a Ferrari. They both have 4 wheels, but you're not going to outrun that Ferrari in a city, right? And that's how you have to look at the different AI tools you have. So being able to differentiate it moves the squirrel effect that people run into. And if we can help them understand like the tool, choose whatever tool you want. But once you get good at the tool, right?
Yeah.
You can choose the software. I mean, once you get good at the software, you can choose whatever tool you connect it to.
So for an agent starting out, then where do they start?
Well, right now it's easy because Claude is the dominant large language model, and getting the brain together, the intelligence together, then we can connect that brain to anything at that point.
Okay.
It goes back to the tools, right? Once we have, it's like the debate for CRMs. You know, which CRM do you use? Which is the best CRM? It's the CRM you use is the best one, right? With Claude right now, because it gave us so many powerful tools like MCPs, the different connections, the skills, just the prompt structure, we can connect that to anything. And our end game is always to bring it to our CRM, which is our system. So starting there, you can't go wrong. You can explore others, but if you're willing to like accept, like right now, Claude is built for businesses.
Yes.
Everything else can be just curiosity.
Yes. Yeah. I think we're all in love with Claude right now, for sure. You're actually telling agents, though, to stop using ChatGPT.
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell us about that. So stop using ChatGPT.
Well, I mean, one, because of, I mean, just the hallucination capabilities of ChatGPT is just too high. It's not that it's super bad. It's just not built for business. And when you talk about
ChatGPT is not built for business.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I mean, we've seen an example of just with the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
They're using Claude. And as cozy as all these different like the billionaire entrepreneurs in the sense of a tech scene, you would think, and I mean, an OpenAI would be there. We've never seen Amadeus next to our president, but we've seen the OpenAI scene there.
Right.
So you would think that would connect. The structure that Claude has given us in reference to the tools from the MCPs to the connectors, on down to how we can build RAG agents. If you got the proper protocol or system, sky is the limit of where you can go. And unfortunately, ChatGPT is still trying to make sense of what it is. We just seen Soros shut itself down.
Yeah.
Like it has no like real identity yet, right? But it has the cape. I mean, it has the potential. But we got time isn't on our side. We got businesses to build. We don't have time to wait for this multi-billion-dollar business to figure out where does it fit inside our business.
Right. How they're all going to play together. And ChatGPT is actually now integrating with Claude.
Yeah, they just released their codex, their MCP codex, that now it is built to be incorporated inside an MCP in Claude. The ChatGPT even recognized that Claude is superior.
Yes, yeah. So Claude for the win.
Claude for the win.
Claude for the win. All right. So you said something, RAG agents. So tell us what that means.
Those are, right now, we're in the current stage of agentic, right? Understanding what a RAG agent is, which is retrieval augmented generation, it helps you understand where, let's just use for the sake of argument, you can create these virtual employees now.
Virtual employee. So a RAG agent is a virtual employee.
Could be, yeah. I mean, there are agents, and the unique part about RAG agents is the way they're structured, they're excellent at one thing.
Okay.
Even from information.
I'd love to have a virtual employee who is excellent at one thing.
One thing. And they can communicate and reason with each other, right? Okay. So they don't hallucinate. They're not being creative. It's secured in the sense of the information you provided. That's how it's structured. The assignment, that's the structure.
So what type of things are you seeing real estate agents create RAG agents to do for them in their business?
The phone calls, auto responding,
listing prospecting,
from interactive videos, from marketing, advertising. The list is limitless.
So if I were an agent and I were wanting to create RAG agents for my business, should I sit down and make a list?
Now, here's where it gets cool. It goes back to why Claude is so powerful, because Claude internally has given us its own agent, which is called Forward. Yeah. You don't even have to go out and get a third-party agent.
Yes, co-work is amazing. So that middle button on Claude, everyone. So when you're in Claude, pick that middle button at the top. Because a lot of people don't know it's there, right? They're just thinking that Claude works like ChatGPT, where it's just chat.
Yes.
So you want to find the middle button at the top that says co-work. It will change your life.
A lot of people don't use the desktop version. That's why they don't see it.
True.
So that's the only way you're going to get to it. So if you want to really get into more of the agentic side, like Forward and RAG agents, Claude is giving it to you pre-built.
Yes. Okay. So tell us what to do.
Okay. All right. First, you want to set up the desktop version of Claude. Inside of Claude, you have your chat, you have Forward, you have Code, right? Chat is what we already use. Code is where the agent is. You'll see on the side where you can schedule it. You can give it assignments. Yeah. You can give it information in reference to let's say contracts or things that you wanted to know about your business that's internally. All you need to do is give it permission. And it's even extended now that it has dispatch, where let's just say if you forget to do something and your computer is on, you can call it in from your phone.
Yeah.
So that first thing is the desktop version of Claude is what gives them access to over.
Yes. Yes. And dispatch, being able to do it from your phone, is relatively new as well. And that is a game changer for agents who are always on their phone.
Well, dispatch, and they release computers where dispatch lets them use stuff natively on a computer. Computer lets it go and actually search the web for things.
Very cool. Very cool. This is all just incredible. All right. So, I mean, agents are time starved, and everything that we've been talking about saves you time so that you can do the face-to-face work, right? The work that's going to make you money. So for the agents that are not adopting this and are not sort of jumping on this opportunity, how do we convince them that they need to do this?
I don't think we can, right? I think they need to understand, and it's almost like when you talk to people about money, people say, well, it's not all about money. Until you need it, it's too late, right? So we have to put that as priority. AI and emerging tech isn't going anywhere. And unfortunately, until we make that behavior shift to help them understand that it's just unfamiliar. It's not complicated. You can't break it, right? Yeah. It's just unfamiliar. We can help agents identify that. It'll give a leadway at least into trying, but we all know that AI isn't going to replace you, but the agent that uses it,
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So I want to go back a bit. I want to shift gears and go back a little bit. So I first became aware of you years ago. Okay. and you were out on the circuit wearing the t-shirt that said Zillow Killer. So for those that know you today that may not have known you then, tell us about what was going on then. And then I got a follow-up question.
No worries. My behavior of how I move never changed. The Zillow Killer was an accident. And it was
an accident.
Yeah, because it was easier for people to remember Zillow Killer than my name, right? And
James is such a difficult name.
Well, that's how I thought. My mind thought like that.
That's good branding.
But exactly. And it was just an anchor. And me, I mean, I have a marketing background. The whole point was to create an anchor. Anchors are what makes you memorable, right? Yeah. It's like red glasses.
Anchors make you memorable.
Yeah,
that was quite an anchor.
Yeah. So it gave a twofold thing. It was more of like, I know who you are, I can remember you.
Yes.
And people had such a distaste for Zillow, it gave them stones like, yeah, he's on my side. Here's the funny part. I never talked about Zillow.
Yes.
I never talked bad about him. I never talked about him.
But you showed up in the t-shirt and got attention.
It's just, and exactly, that's exactly what it was.
Yes.
Honest attention and nurtured it. And it was just to create the anchor where when you say Zillow Killer, I pop up.
That's awesome. That's great. I mean, such a great marketing takeaway there is create an anchor as part of your branding and you'll get attention. And that's exactly what you did. The other thing that's important, I think, to say there is you showed up and brought values. So you got attention, you got a microphone, you got stages, but you delivered value and a message along the way. And you've always done that. And I think that getting attention is one thing, but delivering value is really where you make a difference. And you can't do one without the other, or you'll fade away very quickly.
Oh, yes. It's, I mean, and that's, the thing I try and stress is I try and force agents to find practitioners. I think anybody can regurgitate information, but when you hear a practitioner talks, it sounds different. There's some substance there. And that's kind of what I lean into. So I appreciate you noticing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how can agents find Agent Lab and information on you today?
If you go on Instagram, just my name, James Rembert, I have a link there. Anywhere you can find my name, I don't use the Zillow Killer too heavy anymore, right? So it's funny. So you look up Zillow Killer, it's going to bring you back to James Rembert. It's me. Stuff is there.
That's awesome. Okay. Give us some closing advice for agents on just like one thing that they should be doing today in their business.
Now, I want to plug this.
Yeah.
I spoke to Seth this week.
Yeah.
He's been promoting the hub. I created a hub group for agents that are not tech savvy.
Okay, great.
They can go in and hang out, and
awesome.
I'll be putting plenty of information in there to get them started.
Okay.
What was the question again?
What should agents be doing to get themselves started?
Right now, I mean, be okay exploring, right?
Okay.
Like, I know we're using ChatGPT, but I am encouraging you to stay away from it.
Yeah.
Even if you use Gemini, 90% of the agents are already paying to Gemini because they have some type of Google business account. At least use what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right. And then eventually, when you're more comfortable, which is not advanced, but it is what's going to help you build your business, migrate over Claude and be okay being a BA.
Awesome. Okay. Final question for you. I call the podcast X Factor because I believe everybody's got an X Factor, that special superpower that is just their uniqueness. What do you think your X Factor is?
Patience.
Patience?
Yes. I meet people where they are.
Okay.
Right. And people, it doesn't compute all the time when you talk to somebody.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times when people are learning, the intimidation comes because they feel like you know enough and you can't like reach them. My patience is like almost absolute. Like, I'll meet you where you are. So if you're just trying to figure it out, let's talk. If you understand this, let's talk. Like, either way, I'll meet you where you are. But I'm very patient with the people around me.
I love it. I'll meet you where you are. That's great. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
No, absolute pleasure, Wendy. Thank you.
You're welcome.